Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Gamers Show. I am Fred Y. Mike is at church today. We're gonna get down and dirty with it. Alright? So, this is no chaser, man. I gotta warn you all before y'all do anything stupid. Okay? And this is dealing with these box truck companies. Now, there's a lot of money in the box truck company industry. As a driver, you can make a lot of money, but the thing is that the amount of money that you make, is good. I ain't gonna lie about that. I was able to get out of a couple of financial situations driving the box trucks, but you're always tired and you're never home. So the box truck company industry is more so for a younger cat that don't really have any responsibilities, because it just takes you away from your home too much and you're tired. When I came home on a Friday night, I would sleep all day Saturday, and I would have to wake back up that Sunday and be back on the road to get to New Jersey. And I'll tell you the reasons why I no longer do that box truck stuff. Now, my worst experiences came from this company called Trusted Miles Transportation. Now, they are based out of Laurel, Maryland, and the owner of that company, his name is Bilal Hollister. He was the worst. He was the worst. And that just turned me off about driving in general. Now, I'm going to tell you why you should look out for driving with some box truck companies, okay? Now, number one, they don't give a damn about you at all, because you're just another person that can be replaced, because there's another person that can come and drive their trucks. Driving box trucks like 26-footer internationals, Freightliners, is not that big of a deal. It's just like driving a car to me. The only thing you need to know is that you do have blind spots, and when you're docking, you need to know to stay between those two yellow lines so you can come to that docking point. And there's a couple of other things that you need to know. And this is what the box truck industry don't tell you, okay? And I tell you why me and Bilal, we had it out. And I was going to piece this dude, you know what I'm saying? It was going to be like a WWE. He was going to be Vince McMahon, and I was going to be Stone Cold, you know what I mean? So, first of all, if you want to get in the box truck companies, this is by your own caution, right? Proceed with caution. Okay, first thing you need to know is that you need a DOT card, Department of Transportation's physical card. You need that card because you cannot get on the road without that. You need to pass certain health criteria in order to be on the road with a box truck, okay? Second of all, you need to know the rules and regulations of the road. Now, if you have a trucker friend or family member like I do, you can reach out to them and tell them, like, ask them what are the conditions that I have to abide by, because you have to abide by the same rules that 18-wheelers, big truckers, the real truckers, you have to abide by the same rules that they have to abide by. Okay. So, it's recommended that you don't smoke weed in the truck like some of these other box truck drivers did. Don't drink while you're driving. I mean, that's just common sense. Whatever you do when you're off duty is your business. But you would prefer not to smoke, because if something happened and they piss test you or do the hair follicle test or the mouth swab, they can find drugs in your system, and you can get heavily fined. And hopefully I can remember everything, because I'm gonna be jumping all over the place. So y'all that watch the show know me, so just forgive that. Then you need a trucker's GPS. First of all, you need a trucker's GPS. I'm not talking about the Garmin that you buy out of Walmart or Target or whatever. You need a trucker's GPS. Now you can find a trucker's GPS from, Amazon or eBay, but I would recommend you to go to a trucking stop, a trucking fueling station, such as Love's or Pilots or Flyers, the place where you go to fuel up. You know what I'm saying? These are the places that sell these trucker accessories. Okay, because if you don't have a trucker's GPS and you use your own GPS, the normal GPS, the consumer GPS, don't look out for precautions like low bridges, and other places that box trucks can't travel. You have to know where you can travel and where you can't travel. You cannot drive a box truck through a residential place. Some of them, you'll see the sign that says it have a box truck and it have a red X on it. You can't drive through there, okay? And you can't park your box truck on the street, which I've just quickly learned. Even if you're the driver and you park it in your neighborhood inside your driveway, you can't park a commercial truck overnight per se. Now, if you're getting deliveries like somewhere from like Lowe's or Home Depot, or you're moving and a moving van comes, then that's acceptable. But it's not parked overnight. Those are acceptable. And you need to know that you cannot travel on certain roads. One being parkways. You cannot drive on parkways. The reason why you can't drive on parkways is because you'll have a clearance discrepancy. Okay? So, say that your truck is 13.7. Okay? 13 feet 7 inches. But you come upon a bridge that says 11.1. How do you think you're going to go under that underpass? You can't. You're going to can open that truck. And that's what some inexperienced box truck people, when they first start out, they do. Now, it's common sense. Okay, so when you get in the truck, you have to do a pre-inspection, or even before you drive the truck, you need to ask all that you need to know about it. Whether you're driving a reefer truck or just a straight truck, just a straight box truck. And they call them straight trucks. I guess because you sit straight up. I don't know. But if you're driving a reefer truck, you need to know how to work that refrigerated system. And driving them reefer trucks, you need to know how to operate that stuff, because that engine running all night, that is loud as I don't know what. Now you have two buttons on it. You have like a button that looks like a turtle or a button that looks like a rabbit. More of them have that, and depending on where you're at, if you're parked overnight somewhere, you need to run it on the turtle, because that brings the noise level down, because it just is really loud, and you're going to disturb your neighbors because it constantly cut on and cut off because it's trying to stay at a certain temperature. With driving reefer trucks, you need to know if you have if it's pulling from the same tank or if it's pulling from another tank, and you need to know that you cannot put gas in a commercial truck. You need to put diesel. And there's two type of diesel. There's road diesel and there's off-road diesel. You need to know not to put off-road diesel in that diesel truck. Okay? So, what else? And this is the most important thing. You need to know your DOT regulations, because this is where these box truck companies get you and their dispatchers get you. Now, when your boss is talking to the dispatcher. They're trying to book a load for you. Okay, what a load is just you picking up freight or whatever, and then you dropping it off at another destination. That's fine. That's cool. So what the brokers and the dispatchers do, they don't care about box truck drivers, because when they're booking loads as if you're a truck driver. And I'll tell you what I mean. They'll book a load. Say if you're coming from New Jersey, they'll book a load from New Jersey, and they'll say they want a straight truck or a box truck or a reefer truck, and they want that load to go to Georgia. Okay. Well, that's a pretty long drive, right? You say you can do that in a car. That's fine. Hey, what's up? Ain't that a bitch? Yeah, that's right. This should have been that topic. But you cannot drive from Florida or Jersey to Georgia. Okay, I'm just using that as an example, because you can only stay legally on the road for 10 hours with a 30-minute break. And then after your 10 hours is up, you're supposed to be off the road for 11 hours. Okay. Box truck companies, they don't follow that rule, because they will stick you every time. I know when I worked for Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation, he had a cat on his team that drove from Florida to Maine. You know how long that is? Florida to Maine in 2 days? Man, you can't drive that legally in a box truck. You have to get adequate rest, right? And adequate rest is not sleeping inside the box truck, which some of them would want you to do. I remember I worked for this African dude, and he wanted me to sleep in the box truck, and we was doing duels. Duels is 2 people, right? So me and the guy that I was riding with, we had got into an argument because I was like, I'm not sleeping in no box truck because I need to prop my feet up, right? My feet sore. I need to prop my feet up. And I was just pissed off. I was like, who sleeps in the box truck? And he's beside me while I'm driving. He said, truckers. Truckers don't sleep in a box truck. You're not supposed to sleep in a box truck, because how are you going to get your sleep? How are 2 men going to sleep in a box truck? Because I'm not laying my head in his lap. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not putting my feet on his leg. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to stretch out in the bed and be relaxed, right? So this is where that client, I forgot that the trucking company, the name of that trucking company. But if it comes to me, I'll let you know. But you need to follow all the DOT regulations, okay? Because if you get pulled over by DOT, they're going to want to know all of this information. They're going to want to see your log. Your log is just a detailed map of where you've been. What time did you start work? What time did you end work? What time or where did you stop at when you took your break? What time you got off your break? What time you ended your day? What time you went to sleep? What time you woke back up and started all over again? Your log displays all that information. And when you're dealing with that, DOT wants to know. And I'll give you a prime example. You may not have noticed this if you've been driving in your car, but when you drive like on the Beltway and stuff like that, if you're going out of town, say like you're traveling from Maryland to Florida, and you see, you come inside a new state, and you'll see a sign that says all trucks must exit here at this wait station, right? You gotta exit at that wait station, because they need to weigh that truck. They need to know that whatever you picked up matches the weight of whatever you're carrying. They just need to know that information, right? I may be wrong on that, but you need to stop past on that. So many people that drive box trucks, they ignore that because they thinking, hey, I'm not in a big rig. I don't need to stop at there. I've seen it so many times, especially in New Jersey, where DOT has pulled over a rack of box trucks because they didn't stop at that weight station, right? You need to stop at that weight station. They need to check and see if you're overloaded, right? Because to be a non-CDL driver, you can only drive trucks from 10,000 up to 26,000 pounds. Anything over 26,000 pounds, you need a CDL for. So if you're overweight, they need to know. Okay, there's plenty of times. Bilal Hollister, he's had plenty of guys that has been overweight, and at Trusted Miles Transportation, he has had plenty of guys that have been overweight. And I even got a call to go pick up a swap my truck out with somebody else. I was like, well, what's the difference between me driving and him driving? He says, well, you have a CDL. I said, no, I don't have a CDL. He said, yes, you do. I said, no, you don't remember me asking you, do you and your wife know anybody that has a CDL training so I can get my CDL quick? He was like, oh yeah. The dude was forgetful. I guess he smoked so much, he just forgetful. Because all the time, like one time when he came to my house to drop off my money, and Shantae opened up the door, she said she could just smell the rack of smoke. You know what I'm saying? Because the dude just smoked constantly. You know what I'm saying? If I'm putting this business out there, then so be it, man. But this dude was a clown. And, yeah, so you need to follow all those DOT regulations. All of them. Okay? And the other thing, like I said, you need to know everything about that truck. You need to know the height of the truck. You need to know where the fluids go. Okay, you need to know all that. You need to make sure that a KMV switch is installed. What I think that's the proper pronunciation of it, or the right terminology. What that does is that it's an electronic logging device. So even if your logs are messed up, your paper logs, that's going to determine everything. That's going to be as accurate as everything, because when you start from the time you turn the ignition on, from the time you're moving, that log is being kept inside that little keep trucking box, right? And speaking of keep trucking, you must use that keep trucking app, because the keep trucking app will get you out of a lot of jams. The keep trucking app is just self-explanatory. You can go to YouTube and you can watch tutorials of it, but it's just like a paper log, right? So the best thing to do is, like, if you're keeping a paper log while you have the Keep Trucking app, just keep the paper log. You know what I'm saying? Keep both of them so you won't run into any problems, because eventually you're going to get pulled over by DOT, or when you go into that weigh station, which is mandatory for all commercial vehicles, they may just, hold you up, jam you up. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be prepared for that. And the first thing they're going to ask you is, you got your logbook? And if you say no, I'm telling you, fines, they will call you finey, because the amount of fines that you can get is close to $10,000 in fines. And I'm telling you, there, a lot of these guys that stay long term for these box truck companies, they gotta work for them because their license is so jacked up they can't get a job anywhere. Like, they would jack your license up so bad that you couldn't even push a skateboard without looking behind your shoulders to see if you're gonna get pulled over. You know what I mean? So that's how it is. Okay. And what else? Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, and you really must know, and I'm gonna repeat myself, I'm sorry, but the amount of hours that you can drive is only 10. So that's when you start your day, you do your pre-trip. Your pre-trip is what you go over the truck, you inspect the truck, you make sure that you're topped off on fluids, you checking your tire pressure, you're checking your load, to make sure nothing is shift. You making sure that you got everything is good with the truck, windshield wipers, horn, all that before you get out on that road. So when you do your pre-trip, you're on duty, but you're not driving. You know what I'm saying? Well, you're off duty. You're on duty, but you're off. It's you gotta kind of look at the app. That you gotta watch somebody tutorial on the Keep Trucking app. But that's how you determine it. But once you start driving, that's when you gotta clock your mileage. What mileage was this in? You know what I'm saying? And you do your drive, and then you must take your break 3 hours before the third hour approaches. You got to take your 30-minute break, and you can only drive 10 hours, right? And you can pull over, because driving in a box truck is not the most comfortablest at all. You know what I'm saying? It's not comfortable. It's not driving like in a big rig. Not at all. So you're going to get tired. So you can pull over at a trucking stop, get something else to eat or fuel up and, you know what I'm saying, get back on the road. But you can only drive 10 hours. That's it. You can't drive 10 hours. And me and Bilal got into it because he was like, no, you can drive 16 hours. I can keep you on the road for 16 hours legitimately. You can't drive no damn 16 hours on the road. So I don't know what this cat was talking about. He was like, there's an exception to the rule. What they're talking about is something where you can still only drive 10 hours, but you can stay on duty. Like if you have to do something with the load, if you have to unload or offload, but you can only drive 10 hours. So don't let no box truck company fool you and tell you that you could drive more than that when you can't. And if you go over your hours, you must put in, like if you're going to a destination where you're going to get some rest, you have to put into your log, safe haven. And, my man taught me, my cousin, he had taught me about that. You have to put in safe haven, because if you get pulled over, and you will, and they see that log book and like, okay, your 10 hours was up at 11 o'clock. Why at 11:30, close to 12 o'clock, you're still driving? Like, well, I'm trying to get to a safe haven. The motel that I'm going to is a couple of miles away. And then some of them will let you slide by that. Okay. And then there's another thing that you must know. Some box trucks are governed at a certain miles per hour. And this is what I say, that the dispatchers and the brokers don't give a damn about people that drive box trucks, because the paperwork may say, okay, you can get from Jersey to Georgia in 8 hours. Okay, 8 hours in a box truck is 13 hours. Okay, or a little bit more than that. And I tell you why. Because a box truck that is governed cannot keep up with the flow of traffic. So, and even Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation, this idiot, he had said something so damn stupid. We had got into it about 95. He was like, 70. You don't hit a 75-mile-an-hour road until you get to Georgia. Dummy. Even in Virginia, it's 75 miles per hour. You got to keep up with the traffic, right? So it was a lot of stuff. And I'll tell you a story about that before I close the show out. But when you're driving a box truck can only do the minimum of maybe 63 or 64 miles an hour. Now, you equate that with 70 miles an hour worth of traffic. You're not going to be there in the same amount of time that paperwork may say. Try putting in a big hole in a cup and filling it up with water, and see how long does it take for you to get that water to go up to the top of the cup. Because if you can't keep up with the flow of traffic, if the flow of traffic is going like this, you're the box truck, this is the box truck, this is a car. In a car, you can keep up with the flow of traffic. But this is the box truck, this is the car. When you're trying to keep up with the flow of traffic, hold up. Okay. So it's like this. And see, that car is already passed. You know what I'm saying? You're you're 10 minutes you're 10 minutes away from where that car is, right? So that adds up. That constantly adds up. And you can't keep up with that flow of traffic. So that's why box truck, you're not gonna get there on time. With a box truck, you're never gonna get there on time. Because if you're not doing local runs and you're doing over the road, state to state, you're not going to get there on time. Because you can't keep up with the flow of traffic. Even if you do have a box truck that can keep up with the flow of traffic that's not governed, you still can't keep up. You try going into places like, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, going up in those mountains, going up on those hills. You can't keep up with the flow of traffic because your box truck is going to slow down climbing them hills, especially if you have a load inside of that truck. Okay, so that's one thing. Is you can never make time. So this is where the box truck companies, they don't listen. When you tell a person, hey, look, man, 8 hours drive is like maybe 15 hours in a box truck. They say, yeah, man, I know, man, you can't keep up with the flow of traffic. But then when you get there late, then they be like, well, why was you? I'm like, dude, man, I just told you I can't keep up with the flow of traffic. You can't keep up with the flow of traffic. Plus you got to stop. You got, what I'm saying? You got to do number one, number two, got to get something to drink, rehydrate it, got to stretch out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So you cannot keep up with the flow of traffic. Okay. So these brokers and these that whole team, they don't care. They don't care. Especially with like other people that I mean they just don't care. They don't care at all. And they will jam you up in a minute. Okay. So I think I got pretty much all of that out the way with the box. Oh, they also take insurance out on you that you don't know about. Oh, it was another thing. They take insurance. So if you crash or die, your significant other or whatever it is won't get paid. The company will get paid because I forgot the insurance that they take out on you, but it's some type of insurance that they take out on, some type of life insurance that they take out on you. That's why they need to know your name and they get all that information from your boss. And the one thing I hate about them is they constantly call you. The dispatch people constantly call. I had to curse out so many people, those dispatchers. I had to curse so many of them out because they'll call you and be like, hey, we're just wondering, did you pick the load up and where you at? Like, look, man, I just picked the load up. I ain't even left the dock yet. So, you know what I'm saying? I'll be there, in about like tomorrow or something. Then they'll call you back 15 minutes later. Like, okay, we're just checking on you. Where you at? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I'm on the road now. I don't really like answering my phone, DOT, man, and just hang up. Then they'll call you back 5 more minutes later. We're just wondering where you at. Man, I'm 5 minutes from the last time that you called me. Why the hell did you keep calling my phone? And when I worked for Bilal Hollister as Trucking Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland. Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel. This fool does not understand. You get frustrated with these calls coming in every 5-10 minutes. You got to answer your phone, Fred. You got to answer your phone. I'm not answering a damn thing. If they want to know where I'm at, I've talked to you. You let them know where I'm at. Well, you got to answer the phone. You got to answer the phone. I'm not answering nothing, man. You keep calling me, distracting me from the driving, and this is before I had a headset. Man, I would curse these dudes out. And he would get mad. So what, man? I'm the one that's driving this truck. Leave me be and let me do what I got to do. Okay? So the dispatchers are going to constantly call you, constantly harass you. I had these clowns calling me on a Saturday, and I had flipped out on them. You hear me? Calling me on a Saturday. I picked up a load on a Friday. The load wasn't due until Monday. Why the hell are you calling me Saturday if your load's not due until Monday? Man, I've had to curse out a couple of people dealing with that situation. Another thing, you need to get a headset because you don't want to touch your phone. A 1 minute distraction can cause an accident, right? Because if you're texting on the phone while you're driving a box truck, you can cause a major accident. You got to remember, you're not in a car. So you don't have the capability of stopping suddenly or maneuvering this box truck quickly as you do if you're driving like a Mini Cooper or something like that. You have no type of braking power on the box truck. None at all. So you need to stay focused, and you need to stay at least. I stay at least. Well, the truck is making me do that. I stay at least like maybe 5 cars behind the vehicle in front of me. But I'm gonna have to do that anyway because the box truck can't go past 62, and you're on the 75-mile-an-hour road or 70-mile-an-hour road driving up 95 or any other major road that's 70 miles an hour. Dumbass Bilal, come on, man. I'm like, when he told me that, man, you don't see any 70 miles an hour roads until you get to Georgia or whatever he said. I said, when the last time you drove to Florida, man? When the last time you drove up here? Because I'm looking at 70 mile an hour roads right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the 70 mile an hour signs right now. You can see it in Richmond. Come on, man. So they don't listen to you at all. They don't listen to you at all. And they don't follow DOT regulations like they supposed to, because you can only be on the road a certain amount of time and then you got to take your break. Now, this is why I don't drive no more. And I'm going to tell you, this is a horror story. This is why I don't drive no more. Now, like I said, I was working for this cat named Bilal Hollister and Laurel with Trusted Miles Transportation. So I'm coming back from Jersey. I'm going to tell you an incident that happened before. This is where it started. So I'm in New Jersey, which I hated going into New Jersey. I hate driving in New Jersey and I hate driving in New York because there are too many low bridges and there's too many. I got to maneuver around the parkway, or you know what I'm saying, because you can't have a box truck on the parkway. So there was a load. This was early in the morning that it got canceled. So that was around like maybe 12. So I'm sitting up here waiting around for him to book me something else. He books me another load around like maybe 4 o'clock. It takes an hour to get to from where I'm at to the pickup. The pickup is going to Georgia. And it needs to be delivered by 7 o'clock. 9 o'clock that morning. So let's do the math, y'all. When I say you can only drive 10 hours. So from 5 o'clock to the time I'm going to get there. Okay. So let's start off at 6. Because after, you got to be loaded and then do your paperwork. Oh, and another thing that this dummy said was you can use your BOL as your log. You can't use your BOL as your log, dummy. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's well over 10 hours. Well over 10 hours, right? So if I can only drive 10 hours and I need to be in Georgia by 9 o'clock, let's count it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. 3 in the morning I need to stop because that's my 10 hour. Not before 3 in the morning, because mind you, I was driving before that, so that includes my 10 hours. But let's just say, for the sake of the fact, 6 o'clock. Now, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, if I'm supposed to be in Georgia at 9 o'clock and I got an 11-hour rest, here's the ticket. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when I'm supposed to be back on the road. So I call these cats and I say, hey, look, man, I just picked up your shipment. I'm not going to be able to make it in Georgia by 9 o'clock because I can only do 10 hours worth of driving. Now, I've already been driving for now like 5 hours for now. I've been from 8 o'clock in the morning from 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Well over my time. At 3 o'clock, I'm supposed to be off. But from 5, get there at 5, leave at 6. Now I'm driving on the road. Tired as hell, man. I'm tired as hell. You know what I'm saying? And I'm taking micro naps on the road. And the reason why I tell you I'm taking micro naps and I'm so good at driving is that I don't remember 10 minutes apart from each other. Because when I look at the clock, it is like 12 o'clock. Now when I look at the clock again, it's like 12:15. I don't know what I did for that 15 minutes. I don't remember that 15 minutes, right? I'm just driving. And thank God, man, and there is a God. Thank God I didn't die on that road because I was supposed to have been dead plenty of times working with Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland. I was supposed to have been dead a couple of times. But even with and I hopefully somebody send this to DOT because I got all the proof for it. So this clown gets mad that I called the customer and tell him, hey, look, man, I'm not going to be there at the time that y'all want me to be there because I got to pull over. I got to get a hotel room. Now, this clown, what's his name? Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation. He's the owner, CEO, located in Laurel, Maryland. This clown does not reimburse me for my hotel stay because the shipment was late. You're not following DOT, clown. That's why I was late. So from driving at 7 o'clock in the morning, before 7, to 5 o'clock that afternoon, picking up a load to take it to Georgia. Come on, man. This clown supposed to be shut down already. Previously I told you he had a guy drive from Florida to Maine in 2 days, which you can't do. Okay. So I'm not going to put that guy on blast because that's my man's, I know that guy. So, I'm not going to put him on blast, but if he want to kill himself, you know what I'm saying, then by all means. So that was that, right? That was the beginning of the, it's about to get some furniture moving up here. Okay. And I know there's always two sides to each story, but I'm telling you, this is as accurate as can be. What blew the top off is when I was in New Jersey. I was coming back from New Jersey to take a load to New York. Okay. Now, the way that you go sometimes is you have to go through that Beggar's Bridge. And I'm talking about the Beggar's Bridge is the George Washington Bridge. They got dudes out on the bridge, 5-lane bridge, panhandling and begging. I ain't gonna stop your hustle. But it's so congested. You know what I'm saying? These dudes stay on that 5-lane bridge and they beg for money. And this bridge, you can see mirrors on the side of the road because every time you cross that bridge, there's going to be an accident. It's always an accident, and somebody's mirror is always being taken out by a truck or New York. Man, y'all got it, bro. I would never drive in New York if I didn't have to, right? So I'm driving from Jersey. I think I was on 91 or 71 or something like that. Or I was in Connecticut or something. I forget where it was. But I see the lights flashing. I see the sign first, and it's like, if the lights are flashing, you have to pull over into the DOT inspection. So I was like, okay, I'm cool. Because, you know, what I got on here is some short stuff anyway. So the guy pulls me over. I go into the weigh station. He started asking me questions that I just simply can't answer. What's your DOT? Well, I'm using the company's DOT because he was renting rider trucks, right? These regulated rider trucks, right? But the DOT is on the rider truck, so you don't have to have your DOT if you're swapping the trucks out every 30 days like you do with rider. And there was just a couple of questions that he was asking me that I didn't know, and I was answering him as honestly as I can. So, and the dude was cool. White cop. I'm in Vermont. I'm in the racist part of Vermont where they got F Biden flags and all this other stuff. Like Calvert County got that stupid F Biden something with calling our vice president a hoe. Y'all look it up in Calvert County, man. So the information that he was asking, I just didn't have on me, and we just chopping it up, man. I'm telling him about how I'm trying to get my CDL. He's like, yeah, y'all, giving me advice about it and all this other stuff. I was like, well, you want me to call my boss and see if I, get the information from him? He was like, yeah, call him. Just get the information from him. I was like, okay, cool. So I called up Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland. I say, hey, yo, Bilal. At Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland. I said, yo, I'm at a DOT stop, and the guy needs your DOT numbers to run it, right? This clown getting all frantic, and I got the phone to my ear, and then I'm pulling it away, and I'm looking at the phone. I look over at the cop. The cop look at me, and he like, why? This clown, Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland, he's telling me some off the wall stuff, right? He was asking for my log. You can use your BOLs as your log. The BOL is just a shipping packet. That's all it is. It's telling you what's on the shipping packet. The BOL don't tell you how many times you stopped within that day. The BOL don't tell you what hotel you stayed at and what mileage that was. The BOL don't tell you none of that. Only thing it gives you is a mild description of what you're carrying and the address to where it's going. That's all a BOL is, right? Bill of lading. You can use your BOL as your... So we going back and forth. I'm like, look, man, let me call you back. Because now I'm pissed off. Because this clown is yelling at me and he's hyping up the situation for no reason. So I'm thinking, okay, this cool cop is about to turn into an ass right now because of all this stuff that Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland, is doing. He's just screaming for no reason. There was no action that needed to be take place for him acting a fool like this. And I hope you see this, Bilal. You know what I'm saying? Because the clown wouldn't pull up at my house when I asked him to come get his truck. Oh, we'll get into that later. So, and this is a true story. You can even ask the dude that came to pick the truck up. Okay. So he got off the phone, and the guy, the trooper said, okay, first I was all jacked up. I had a copy of my DOT card because I left it at the house. So I had it on my phone because I take a picture of my DOT card just to keep it with me on the phone. So I showed him that. He was like, that's cool. He said, most people don't even do that. He said, man, I'm not going to even write you a bunch of tickets because and this is what the guy said, honest to God. He said, look, man, I'm not going to write you any tickets because you just seem like you're a guy out here just trying to provide for your family. I said, man, I appreciate that, Doc. He said, but I am going to have to shut you down for 10 hours because you can't prove anything. I said, cool. He said, there's a truck stop on the next exit. He said, just follow me down there, go to the truck stop, get you, buy you some writing, the log sheets. He said, just sit there for 10 hours. He said, don't drive. You know what I'm saying? Just sit there. He said, you know, I could have wrote you so many tickets and I could have towed your truck. He said, but I'm not even going to do that. He said, but your guy right there, he said, he's going to get people into lots of trouble because he didn't need to be all that animated because the only thing you was asking him was for the DOT card. That's all I asked for. I didn't call him up. I didn't call Bilal Hollister up at Trusted Miles Transportation located in Lower Maryland. I didn't call him up and be like, man, they pulled me over and I ain't do all that. It was just, hey, yo, look, hey, I need the DOT number because, you know, the cop asking for it. So I had to sleep in the truck that night. Luckily, it wasn't cold outside, but I did have a blanket in there and a pillow because I took that into the crack roof ends when I stayed there. And woke up the next morning. This guy is just fumigated. I'm still 2 hours away from the drop and I get there late. He's pissed off because I get there late. There's nothing I can do about it. What he expect me to do? Wait till the cop leave and then drive that box truck again? I'm not jeopardizing my license or my career in trucking that I did want. I'm not jeopardizing for Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland. I'm not jeopardizing my license for you, chump. So then me and him had it out. You hear me? I think that by that weekend, this is actually when the gas that gas crisis started. And I should have titled this Horror Story at the end, but I'm going to rename it Horror Story at the end. So after that, I think I went home or something like that, but I can remember. Yeah, I did go home that night. I went home that night. I think that was on a Thursday. That Friday, I told him I was going home. He said, okay, that's fine. Now, mind you, I don't know if he smoked too much or he not hearing or whatever, but something in the translation got mixed up. Because that morning when I woke up, he sent me an address for North Carolina. No, it was something. I drove to North Carolina. I was in North Carolina. I delivered to North Carolina. And he wasn't going to pay for a hotel. So I said, man, look, I'm going back home. He said, fine. I said, I'm going back home. He was like, fine. So that morning, I call him up while I wait for my route. And he says, okay, there's a pickup in North Carolina. But mind you, when I went to North Carolina to pick this load up, I said, yo, take me out of North Carolina because there's a gas shortage. Because even Ryder was only giving 50 gallons. So you got 2 50-gallon tanks on the Ryder truck. They was only limiting people to 50 gallons a truck. And if I had an emergency, I couldn't stop nowhere in North Carolina. That whole pipeline was messed up. So I couldn't get no gas. There was a gas shortage. This is when, this dumbass lady was putting gas inside of a plastic bag. You know what I'm saying? And you seen that on the news. So that morning I wake up and I was like, okay, then how long are they going to hold this load? Because I'm at home. Man, Fred, man, let me call you back. I'm like, and at this time, I'm pretty much done with it. So then he calls me back and we're going back and forth. All that, right? So finally, I just got mad at. I just got fed up. Said, pull up, Slim. Pull up and keep that same energy that you got. All that stuff over the phone. I think what he said that pissed me off, he called me out of my name and said that I wasn't a man because I was acting childish. How am I acting childish when I'm telling you I'm not driving 10 hours? I'm not doing that no more. I'm not driving over 10 hours for this truck for you. No more. You know what I'm saying? So we going back and forth and all this other stuff. Keep that same energy. I'm going to come pick up my truck. Now, mind you, this Bama still owed me money for one trip that I did, and he never paid me back. He never paid me. So, he was like, well, drop the truck off in Laurel, and I give you your money. Nah, son. You give me my money first. I need leverage on this clown. Because if I give him the truck, what makes me think that I'm going to get my money anytime soon? When he told me that he was going to mail my check, first of all, stupid. If you don't know where I live at, stupid, how are you going to mail me my check, stupid? You have a copy of my driver's license, stupid. You see that I have a regular driver's license, stupid. I don't have a CDL, stupid. So he balked all this. He was talking all this stuff, right? So I'm like, pull up. I ain't got to come to you because the box truck is parked in front of my house. Come pick your box truck up, Slim, and carry that same energy when you come. Yeah, I'm going to come. Good. Come on. Come on. Man, I was going to beat the oodles and noodles out this clown, man. And you can still catch these hands today, Slim. You can still catch them. Try Jesus, not me, 'cause I throw hands. That's my song. Try Jesus. Please don't try me, because I fight. So you can get it anytime you want, Slim. Cuz wind up not coming to my house because when I heard the doom, 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 I'm like, oh, this clown here. So I'm ready for him because honestly, I was just going to reach out the door, come out the door, and we was just going to get it in. You know what I'm saying? Because this man done called me out my name. He called me childish and all this. I act like a kid and all this other stuff. We was going to get it in, Slim. We was going to get it in. And anybody else that involved themselves, because the dogs was downstairs and my dogs don't play. See, the dogs protect the house. And if you touch me, if you just do like this, the girl goes crazy. The girl will go crazy. Off topic, she's mixed with German Shepherd and Pit Bull and other terriers, right? So she's not a full-fledged pit. She got that canine instinct. She got that German Shepherd in her, and then she got that lockjaw of a pit and that lockjaw of a German Shepherd. So come on, man. You didn't want this smoke, man. You'd been coughing all day, Slim. But who comes to the door was one of the dudes that, you know what I'm saying, that I jailed with. He came to the door. I was like, yo, what you doing here? He was like, yo, Bilal Hollister from Trusted Mile Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland. He was like, yeah, Bilal told me to come over here and pick up the truck. I said, you not getting no keys. I was like, man, I got a bedroom upstairs. I was like, hold on, let me put the dogs on the steps first. I was like, oh, okay, come on there. Then he told me, I was like, man, you better be prepared to spend the night, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll put some burgers on the grill and we could drink a couple of beers, but you ain't getting no key until this guy cash at me my money. Long story short, he stayed here for about 2.5 hours. By that time, he's saying that he's gonna call the police and report the truck stolen. Go ahead and call and report it stolen. I got the chat, the chat between us saying that I don't want your truck. You can come pick up your truck. Just give me the money that you owe me. I'm not holding your truck hostage. I don't want that Ryder truck, that 26-footer box truck parked in front of the house. You can take it. Just give me my money. I ain't take none of that stuff out there. Your rails, your straps, none of that. That's what I should have did. I should have took them straps and the what do you call the bars. I should have took them damn bars and them straps out because he still owed me money. But he took 2 hours and some change to give me the money that he owed me. You know what I'm saying? So that's a surprise horror story. But I'm about to end it. But Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland, you're a clown, man. You're a clown. And if you work for this clown, he gonna jam your license up. Okay. Now, not saying that all box truck driver companies are bad, but I just don't like being listened to. If I tell you that I don't like to drive in New Jersey, or I don't, the last lady I worked for, she tried to pull a slick one out on me. She said, I know, Mr. Fred, I know you don't like driving to New York, but would you do Brooklyn? Let me say that again. She said, I know you don't like driving to New York, Mr. Fred, but would you do Brooklyn? Let me say that again one more time. She said, Mr. Fred, I know you don't like driving to New York, but would you drive to Brooklyn? I said, Brooklyn, New York? She said, yeah, Brooklyn, New York. I said, Brooklyn, New York. She said, yeah, I know, Mr. Fred. I said, no, I don't like driving to New York, and I don't like driving to anywhere past Elizabeth, New Jersey, because now I'm dealing with parkways, and especially the Bronx, Brooklyn. Driving in Brooklyn and the Bronx is like driving in D.C. and downtown D.C. Now, combination that with a box truck, with a 26-footer box truck. You think I want to drive down there? New York has so much money down there, but you can ask any trucker. A lot of truckers do not like going to New York. A lot of truckers do not like going to New York. They'll pay, no, I don't want to go to New York. Don't send me to New York. You know, I skip over Jersey and skip over New York. I go to Boston or Maine, Rhode Island and stuff like, but I'm not going to New York. But that's it, man. And yeah. Just if you're gonna drive a box truck, just remember all the stuff that I said at the beginning of this program. Don't let these box truck companies fool you. Don't let them take advantage of you. You need your rest. You need to know you can only drive 10 hours at a time with a 30-minute break after your first 3 hours, right? And you need 11 hours of sleep, 11 hours of rest. The reason why they say you need 11 hours of rest, because you're not going to get 11 hours of rest. You're probably going to get 8. This is why. Because you got to come in. Oh, and there was one thing that I forgot. You got to come in. You got to take your shower. You got to wind down. You got to eat some food. And then you got to maybe watch a little bit of boob tube. And then you'll fall asleep. So you're only really going to get 8 hours, 8 or 7 hours of sleep. Okay. The problem I had with this last lady that I worked for is that she didn't listen. I told her I don't do New York and I don't do New Jersey. And I found myself, I had a commercial that I had to shoot, you know. And I was so tired and so drained doing that commercial shoot. But the commercial came out really nice. Thanks to Matthew Mabin for shooting the commercial. And thanks to Michael Thompson for directing the commercial. And I just did the edits, man. I was tired. I was so tired, man. I told her I needed to be home by 8 o'clock because I need to charge up the equipment, need to make sure everything was copacetic. I didn't get home until 2 o'clock that morning, having to wake back up at 7 o'clock because it was an early morning shoot. She did this because I'm in Jersey. I was doing something in Jersey and stuff like that. And what she would do sometimes is she would book a hotel or want to book the hotel first. Don't let them book the hotel because you cannot park at every hotel. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these box truck people give you a per diem for the hotel. Say that, you know, they'll only spend X amount of dollars. If it's over, they only like Bilal Hollister, Trust Miles Transportation, located in Lower Maryland. He would only allow $80. That was it. That was his cap. But if you're staying by airports, or he wants you close to the drop, which is like maybe less than 5 miles away, and it's by an airport or something like that, or like a business industry, them hotels are going to be more than $80. You're looking at 90, 120, something like that. Why should I come out of pocket for you, and I spent this extra 2 hours that I'm not supposed to be driving to get to a place where I can drop it off in time so I can go pick up another load? No consideration, no caring, man, no empathy, no none of that. So she would try to book hotels. I was like, no. Don't book it yet because I need to see if I can park there. Okay. Now, I normally stay at the Crack Roof Inn. You know what I'm saying? That way I can get some rewards and I can probably stay a free night like when I go out on my own. The Crack Roof Inn is the Red Roof Inn for those of you all that don't know. So, and I'm way over time that I was supposed to be. She would just try to book these rooms. I'm like, nah, don't book it because I don't know the parking situation. But then when I would get to the room, I'm like, okay, the parking, the fee for the room is, you know, whatever. Well, that's too much. Now I got to drive 20 more minutes to another hotel. I'm already tired. You know what I'm saying? I need to get my rest. And that's the thing that I didn't like about working with her. You know, I mean, she's a sweet lady, but, you know, she don't know the box trucking game because she was green. She had just got into it. So, and then, you know, some of the suggestions I was making her from my previous experience, it just wasn't sinking in. Like, look, she had her own truck when we first started that wasn't governed. So I was able to make time, like, you know, maybe 20 minutes past the time that it was supposed to go, if it's a long distance. But 400 miles, anything past 400 miles, I didn't like doing. 500 miles is, for every 50 miles is an hour. So that's how you have to look at it when you're driving the box truck. For every 50 miles, you can only do an hour. That's it. And apparently she wasn't getting that. But that last day at work, I kind of think she knew I wasn't coming back because I was fed up, because not only that happened, it was just a series of events that kept happening that day. I get there to the dock. I got to wait there like 5 hours until they offload a box truck with only 5 pallets. Man, I was hot. Man, I was hotter than a bowl of Al Green grits, man. You know, I was mad. So, that's it, man. That is it. Yo, so again, let me say, doing a box truck driving, it is money in it, but you ain't gonna see it. Your dispatcher or your boss will see it. They're only paying you a fraction of what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to figure this. When they're booking these loads, they're lowballing them, right? They're lowballing your company because they only want to pay a couple of cents a mile, like 23 cents a mile or something like that. That's why they want you to drive all these long distances. And I get it. They got to pay for insurance. They got to pay for gas and all that other stuff. But if you're driving a 12-hour day and you're only making 140 something bucks, that don't even add up, man. You have to do a lot of running to make anything over $1,000. But they're going to run you. They are going to run you, and they're not going to be concerned about your rest, and they're going to take out a life insurance policy on you that you don't know about. So if something happens to you, unfortunately you may die in a crash or something like that, your spouse or your significant other is not going to be able to claim that reward. You know what I'm saying? They're going to, the box truck company is going to get it. So you're not going to get nothing. Your wife or your husband or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, or your lover or whatever the case may be. I love you all, so it don't matter. They're not going to get anything. So you want to be careful driving these box trucks. All right. So, y'all, please don't forget about this Madden tournament that's coming up on the 14th. And it is $25 to enter in to win a copy of this year's Madden. We're playing last year's Madden. This year's Madden, you will be winning. So we're playing Madden 21. You will win a copy of Madden 22 if you win the grand prize. We are going to have retro arcade systems. We're going to have retro home console systems, and we are going to have VR. Plus, we're going to have we got at least 2 vendors coming, so y'all can come out, support the vendors. We got one selling delicious desserts, and we have a vendor selling t-shirt, apparel, accessories, and stuff like that by Spliff City. Spliff City is going to be out there, and Desserts by Dot is going to be out there. So we hope to see y'all out there. It's going to be at hold up. Let me tell you the address. Oh, it's in the description. It's in the description. So it's going to be from 10 in the morning to 10 at night. And the reason why it's going to be so long is because we need at least like 30 people to play in this tournament. We're going to have at least 5 or 6 consoles running at the same time so we can get through with it as soon as possible. The final round will be streamed live on our channel, on our Facebook channel, on our Twitch TV channel, and on our YouTube channel. So, and we're going to have a little special ceremony, and hopefully we can give the grand prize winner a little bit more than the game itself. We're looking for sponsors, stuff like that. So Man, I enjoyed this. Y'all just beware of these box truck companies because they're not out for your best interest. They will kill you. Okay? They will kill you. Okay? And especially do not work for Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation located in Lower Maryland. He is a jerk. He is a asshole. He is a manipulator. He is a person that does not follow DOT regulations, and he will drop you quick as a bad habit. Stay broke. Okay, son. But if he wants to come pick up his truck, he's going to send D. He's not going to come pick the truck up himself. He's going to send somebody else because he's too scared. So, you're a chump, man. So I'll see you next time on WWTF One Facts Game Show. Let me see. Oh, later, y'all.